Good afternoon.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello, good
Pleasure to
afternoon.
welcome you. I will just wait for everybody from the panel to join, and we will start at 5 with the introduction and everything. But thank you for being here from every part of the world, more or less. It's really nice to see you like this.
Paul, where are you based?
You asking me something?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
where
from
are you?
India.
You're where in India? Are you in?
I'm from Kolkata.
Okay.
And you're from?
Right now I'm based in France, but
Okay.
in the Philippines, based in the Philippines.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
So I think we'll begin the time to do the introduction while everybody is joining, because we have some participants who are currently in France, some from India, from Lebanon. So it's really amazing to have everybody here today to discuss this really important issue of youth inclusion and discuss how it is related to SDG 8, which is the right to decent work and employment for everybody. So I'm really happy to welcome today a few panelists, and we are still missing some, so I hope they will manage to connect. So first of all, we have Alexia Guabe, who is a project manager for the Youth Inclusion Network. She will introduce herself after and present what is this network, but this is an NGO which is like coordinating and creating link between corporate actors, so companies, and NGO based in Asia, so Philippines, Vietnam, Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. And they are trying to organize professional activities for youth in order to support you finding a job. We have also Bruno Vergnes, who is working usually in the Philippines, so thank you for joining. And he will present his work as a consultant in the Philippines and how he took part in this network, what is his experience of youth inclusion, and I think it will be really an experience-based testimony, so really interesting. We have also Debajyoti from India, so thank you for connecting this late. This is really nice from you, and it's a pleasure to have you part of the network here. And I think we have an issue with some of our panelists who just disappear from the screen, but I hope they will manage to come back, because we have 2 youth from Lebanon also joining to give a testimony about what it is to be a youth in these difficult times, what they are looking for when trying to find a job, and what it is to look for a job when you are coming from a particularly deprived background. So first of all, I will give the floor to Alexia. will be able to introduce what she's currently doing and supporting the youth. Thank you, Alexia, for being here.
Hi everyone, let me just set up the screen. I hope everyone is doing very well. Just to give actually, Claire-Marie already started. She's also the other project manager for the Youth Inclusion Network, and she already started to give some insight about the network, because you will actually hear about that during this session. So it's important for you to have like some kind of little background about. So just as Claire-Marie said, this is an international network now of 48 companies in 5 countries, companies from different industries. Actually, some big companies just, I think there is a micro open. Thank you. Like a big company like Capgemini, Kia, H&M, etc. To small companies. Actually, we are willing to support all the companies that want to support the youth inclusion and SDG8. Also, this is our main focus. Our mission are actually to advocate, which means to sensitize corporate to youth exclusion, but also the importance of professional inclusion of this youth. We are, as Claire-Marie said, connecting the companies to partners. We are facilitating connection and discussion between members in order to have the members sharing best practices and supporting each other also. And finally, we are supporting several corporate social responsibility initiatives, just like, for instance, activities and private mentoring also. And I know that some panelists will actually speak about that in a few minutes. And this is because we are whole member actually are acting for the youth in face-to-face and now more and more in digital also, but also because we are sharing best practices between member at national and international level that we between January and August, for instance, allowed to develop 157 in activities, gathering together more than 1,200 participants. So it was actually a cute a small introduction about the yin, and I will let now our young attendants take the floor in order to talk more about their reality and what does it mean to be a youth now in 2021 and to be integrated at the to one of our partners, actually LP4Y.
Yes, so girl, you can open your micro and the floor is completely yours. Introduce yourself and tell whatever you want.
Okay, hello everyone. I want to introduce myself, and I am Rahaf Mahmoud. I am 18 years old and I am from Syria. I studied till 9th grade. I didn't continue my education because there was no chance. And I worked as a saleswoman for 2 years and as a translator for first grade for 1 year, and the replacement for the teacher when she's absent sometimes. And I have been in LP4Y for 2 months, and I developed a lot of skills in the LP4Y, like managing projects, presentations, and to gain confidence, and to improve computer skills more, and to have a chance to communicate in English because it's a good practice. And I want to be in the future an engineer. And after the project or after the program, I want to work as a cashier or a saleswoman.
Okay, so hello everyone. I am Maha. I am 24 years old. I am from Syria. I study North 2 years, but I stopped it because far in Syria. I worked before North 3 years in hospital and in health center, and I worked also a small shopping, and I enjoyed an LB4Y because I want to improve my English and skills computer more. And yes, and I after LB4Y I want to work in secretary. Yes, thank you everyone.
Thank you very much for this. So this is an example of actually what you can do like as a youth, what you have as a dream, and this is really interesting. So thank you for this testimony. And I don't know if the person attending understood, but Life Project for Youth, this is an NGO. We're supporting the youth on the ground and trying to give them the skills to find a decent job. So maybe, ladies, you can explain a bit from where you come from. You see, like why you decided to join Life Project for You quickly before we give the floor to companies. I know it's a difficult
Yes. Okay, so I wanted to tell you like how I knew to the L4Y here in the center in Burj Hamoud. We were living here before in the TDC in the center. It was a building. So I used to live before here from 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So I come back to see if my mom came back to check if they still if it's still a building. And then suddenly she came and there was a center and they told her that we are helping youth to improve more their English skills, their computer skills, and to gain more confidence, and also for their future, like for their target jobs. So they asked my mom if I can come and get to know more about the center. And after that, I came, and it was very amazing for me.
And me, my friend told me about LB4Y, about improve English and computer skills and everything. I like this, and I become here and see everything nice. I started here in LB4Y.
Thank you very much. And thank you for sharing. It's really nice to have this kind of thing. So thank you for this. And now I will give the floor to the companies, maybe to explain what you are doing, what is your relationship with the Yin, and yes, your experience as a company, as a person with regard to SDG8, decent work, and I think that's pretty much what you can say. So the floor is yours. I don't know if you can open your mic.
Is it Paul or me first?
I think it will be first you, Bruno.
Okay, all right. So basically, LP4Y is doing a fantastic job. They are training these youth, no matter where they come from, their background, whatever they come from, how poor they are. Okay, and that's what I really think is great. Number one. Number two, there is a pay. I mean, they don't do that. They do that as a first job. In fact, they are being enticed and motivated with a pay, and they participate in this training. So they mention these young ladies express themselves perfectly in English. Congratulations. So English skills, computer skills you mentioned, but also teamwork, right? I mean, that's very important. Presentations, manipulating a computer, doing great job, and then having a target together so that you have to reach a certain objective and then you go for it. So this is very important. Now, after that, there was a gap, obviously, So what we said is, okay, LP4Y said we need the support of companies to set up, this bridge between the out of job area to the corporate world. So these companies decide to start working together and proposing activities. So activities meant first to get to know what companies are doing, how they work, how many departments they have within a company. Okay, so there is not only one job in one company. There are so many different various jobs that can be offered to various skills, actually. Okay, so it could be HR, it could be actual work on the site, it could be admin, it could be so many different possibilities within the company. So learn what's available on the market, and then go for what you like. Okay, so the program was started by LP4Y in the Philippines, and today we have 22 companies. So Claire-Marie mentioned, or no, maybe Alexia mentioned about IKEA and H&M. Some of them, IKEA, for example, is starting. They are opening their biggest shop in the world in the Philippines. But there are other companies that have already implemented trainings, that have implemented, company discovery or visits, physical visits. Okay, that was before the COVID, of course. That have done mock interviews to train the youth, to how to present yourself. You do a mock interview, and after that you do a debriefing. You say, okay, you did well there, but you need to improve on this. Try to calm down when you speak on the mic or in front of somebody. You have to explain better your skills. You have to underline what you could bring to the company, etc. So that's what mock interviews are meant for. Okay, and then trainings, of course. I mean, a company like the beer company that was doing visit of the factory, and then sales training. Okay, so very, very important. All right, so today we have Decathlon, we have Sodexo, VSL, CGI, that have gone over the original target. Okay, so they had in mind first to say, okay, we will welcome youth in our company and give them a bit of our experience. But eventually they found out during these visits that some youth have fantastic talent, and they decide to go a bit further, do a second interview, a third interview, and then eventually hire them. So I personally had the chance to, and the luck, I would say, to find two fantastic young ladies for two different companies, and they were employed, and they are still in these companies today. So I'm talking about VSL and ESI. They are both in the HR department, and they are getting further. They are improving their skills, and it's a fantastic story. So in fact, you do a CSR activity, so you feel useful, number one, and at the same time, if you're lucky, you can bring an added value to your company. Number one, because you employ somebody, and because number two, to your employees, you show them that you are physically and intellectually motivated by integrating your company in the country. That has a fantastic impact. Now, lately we've been doing remote programs because of the COVID. So that's a big issue, but we never stopped. It never stopped. You can still do the mock interviews, you can still do the visits, you can still organize, exposures to the different departments within the company. Ask your staff to do some of your staff that have gone from basic level to higher level up to top management. Their experience is extremely interesting to everybody. So that's it. I mean, to me, it's a fantastic program. Of course, you need a LP4Y to train, and you need someone like Claire-Marie or Alexia the conductors. I call them the conductors, or the super ladies, to do the coordination, to organize the programs, and keep the ball rolling. And it's a fantastic feeling. So that's it for me. That's what I wanted to share with you.
Thank you very much for this. Really, it's always interesting. And as you can see, as the participant can see, even youth can act. It can be like engaging in an NGO. It can be discussing with companies, supporting, creating partnerships. So every person has the possibility to act on its own level. And this is really what we want to emphasize today, is that as a youth, and I think I can consider myself as a youth, and same thing for the amazing youth we had from Lebanon, we are trying to find decent job. But on the other side, we can really act and create and find the good solutions to have these jobs. And I think that Debajyoti will be really helpful in answering these questions and these concerns. So I give you the floor from India.
Yeah, hi everyone. Myself Debajyoti. I'm basically from India. I'm a HR consultant and a career coach. Basically, I have been associated with LP4Y for more than 2 years, and I have been associated with IN for last 6 months. And the most important thing that I like about LP4Y is that they are not only creating job opportunities, they're actually giving the practical knowledge that what youth need. Because suppose if I'm going for an institute, if I'm taking any professional course, I'm only getting theoretical knowledge. But what about the practical things? How can youth reach the companies? How can they face the mock interviews? These are the things that they are arranging for the youth. That's a very good thing I like about things. Because suppose if a youth wants to be accountant, what the skill set he or she should have to be an accountant? What type of knowledge? What type of courses they have to do? LP4 is providing all the sufficient things to the youth so that they can go. Even they are arranging intensive programs also. That's one of the biggest advantage that the youths are having if they are going through LP4Y. Suppose if you're going for an intensive program, you're giving a hardcore practical corporate experience that is mainly needed, basically. My experience with the IN or with LP4 is very good. I have been giving trainings, I've been taking mock interviews. It was the growth of the youths are good, very good actually. Even I'm learning something from the youths, like how they are managing their daily lives, how they are doing, how they are upskilling their skills on daily basis. These are the things I'm also learning, because we all learn each and every day from anyone. Like we learn from books, we learn from persons, we learn from societies, but we are learning from the youth also. It is not like that we are only giving knowledge to them, we are sharing knowledge with each other. So this is a very good experience and very good platform for the youths that LP4I has created. And thank God to IN that they are collaborating with many companies, and they're giving opportunities for the youth and the companies also to hire youths, so that they can also get an advantage, and no one can say that they are coming from unprivileged sector or unprivileged part. They are giving that opportunity so that they can prove themselves. That is the most important thing that I like about the youth and LP4I and IN. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony, which raised a lot of questions. So I hope we will be able to answer to them, especially the one taking part or watching this. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the chat, because this is really important to have this exchange. And I'm really happy because I can welcome Marie-Aimee from France, who is currently working at La Societe Generale and involved also in the Youth Inclusion Network. So you arrive at the perfect time to give your position about youth inclusion, the IN, and what it is to look for a decent job these days, and how companies can support you in finding one. So I will give you the floor.
Thank you very much, and sorry to have joined late. I had some connectivity problems. So yes, indeed, I come here with two hats. One which is an employee of Societe Generale, and so for those who don't know about Societe Generale, it's a large, a global bank headquartered in France. So we have more than 135,000 employees in more than 60 countries. and very different activities across the world. And as part of those activities, of course, we have made commitments, voluntary commitments to align our strategy with the Sustainable Development Goals, which means using our activities to create impact and create change. So we do that a lot in the field of renewable energy, for example. But here, for what interests us today, what we are doing as part of our organization, we have a foundation that is supporting NGOs and civil society organizations that focus on youth. So this is the exclusive focus of the Foundation for Societe Generale, and youth inclusion in different areas of the world. And then my second hat is that I'm also a board member of the YIN, the Youth Inclusion Network, which I'm sure Alexia and Claire-Marie have already introduced. And this came as a commitment I made because I've been very much involved with LP4Y, Life Project for Youth. And as I work in a company, I felt that it was a very smart idea from LP4Y to launch this initiative of creating a network between corporates, between companies that are active in youth inclusion. So maybe my testimony, I can divide it into the two hats I wear. So as far as Societe Generale is concerned, what we are doing with the foundation is not only giving money to organizations where we believe this money can be deployed with the most impact. And that has been the case, for example, when supporting LP4Y. The foundation has supported LP4Y for over 7 years now in different areas. But it's true also of many other valuable NGOs. And when it's done, what we're trying to do is really to create, it's not to just give money, it's to create connection between the entities that is supported and the employees of Societe Generale. So the foundation is not supporting any NGO that does not have an activity in a country where Societe Generale is present, because what we want is to create links between the local entity and the action of the NGO to make sure that there will be mutual exchanges. And so it can take the form of site visits, it can take the form of Societe Generale staff coming into the centers, if we speak about LP4Y, for example, and giving some training, looking at proposing internship as a follow-up. So this is very important because the experience of the foundation over time is that if you really want to have a success and to have an impact, so the outcome being that everybody's looking for is to integrate, young people into the, and give them a job. The mentoring aspect is very important. So mentoring, coaching, whatever we call it, which is to have really a connection. So to give the opportunity to the youth to expand its network and have as many connections as they can. And with 138,000 employees, we have a lot of people that we can offer as connections for these youth. So that's what we've been doing. And I spoke about LP4Y, but in France, of course, since the bank is headquartered in France, we have a lot of partnerships with local, so French-based organizations. And we do a lot in terms of apprenticeship. And so offering internships and mentoring platforms, also offering the possibility for all of the employees to have 3 days per year where they are paid, but which they can use to do some volunteering work with the organizations that the foundation supports. So it means mock interviews, going into the fields to help, is something that is done and that does not need to be taken on the free time of the employees. So that's also very important. And there's a digital platform that is accessible by all the employees where they can look for opportunities to give some of their time. And so as part of my second role here as a YIN board member, so I'm always very amazed of the job done by Claire-Marie and Alexia, who are relentlessly generating, doing the role of catalysts and generating interest and bringing companies together. And what I think is very smart also from that YIN approach is to be very humble and to start small. You don't have to make a big plan and say you're going to hire 20 people. You just commit to do one thing to help with the youth. And so it's so small that no company can say no to that. And it makes it very accessible. And then once you're in there, and I heard what was said, unfortunately not all of it, but from the previous speakers, then you understand that in fact they're bringing more to you than you actually bring them. That the youth comes with a lot of innovation, agility, and it creates a lot of energy also with the teams that are mentoring or coaching or welcoming the youth. So I'll stop here. I don't want to take all the time.
Marie-Aimee, just one point additional to what you just said, which is becoming a YIN member is costless. I mean, you just sign a chart and that's it. And all you have to do, as you mentioned, is you can do one activity per year. You can do 2, 3, 10. It's up to you. There is no commitment. So that's really fantastic.
Thank you very much for all these testimonies. So I will try to wrap up. If somebody has any question, like from the people viewing, again, don't hesitate to ask them. We are really here for this. So as you see, you can take part in youth inclusion in different way and try to ensure SDG8, so namely fighting against unemployment, trying to offer decent job in numerous way. Be it a youth, as you really did well from Lebanon, thank you, advocating for what is right, what you can say, what you can support in order to find a job, trying to develop your skills by yourself, being part of an NGO, as we saw with the Youth Inclusion Network, being part of a company, and at the same time being, committed to support the youth. So everything is possible. And I saw in the people taking part that we have some youth, everything is also possible on your side. And I will ask one question to the members of the panel who just discussed. In your opinion, if you can give a personal definition, what would be for you, and it is also applicable to the youth, the definition of a decent job? And for you, what is the best thing that we can do in order to achieve this decent job, or at least to fulfill the SDG8 that we are currently talking about? I don't know if somebody has an answer and would like to take the floor.
I'll take the floor quickly. For the Philippines, I'm talking about the Philippines here. A decent job is a job that will allow you to support your family. That's how it works in the Philippines. And of course, the companies that are part of the YIN, of the Youth Inclusion Network, have an understanding that you won't treat the youth, or you will treat the youth exactly the way you treat your other employees. And we are composed of international companies, and the way they treat their employees is usually much above the local level. And recently, another company joined the MCI, and they are doing a fantastic job in terms of protecting their employees. They vaccinated everybody. They make sure that they're all covered. If somebody has a health problem in their family, or somebody dies, they allow these people to go back to the province, etc. So it's a fantastic. That's what I consider as a good support to employees.
Thank you very much for this. I don't know if somebody else wants to bring a stone to the discussion, or if Lebanon, you want to take the floor and tell us what you think is a decent job. Really, feel free to share your thinking And again, if somebody wants to ask a question from outside, don't hesitate, because we are learning a lot from these discussions. I know it's a difficult question.
Okay, so for me, it's like
I don't know if you can connect with the sound. Maybe we can try to. Okay, you can speak now.
Okay. So as I was saying, it's like having a good salary, and like you can still working like for a long time, and not like just for 1 month and then like leave. So that's what it means for me. Do you have an answer?
It's already really good.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing this. Always useful to have another background. And yeah, you see, we don't have the same expectations for a decent job. I'm sure that if I ask to somebody, for instance, based in France, you will say, yes, I want to have this kind of salary. I want to have this kind of things. And you, it's really like, I want to have something that I like and that I will keep. So it's really interesting. Thank you for this. Debajyoti, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, regarding the decent job, actually for me, the work environment that the company provide is basically that we should always look forward for. Like Bruno said, the companies are doing vaccination for their employees, taking care of their families. That's a decent job that they have to do. This is a decent job. If I'm working for a company, I will give my 100%, and I will expect my employer also to take care of me, like to give me in return. Salary is not the only thing that we look forward for. Like giving respect is the another thing. Suppose I have seen some of the companies, they are paying very good salary, but the work environment is not so good. There are inequalities in the company. For gender inequalities are there. They are not providing proper washroom facilities for the women. Okay, basically in sales job, like in retail job. Okay, so these are the problems that we are saying the salary is good, but the work environment is not so good. Suppose if I'm getting a salary that is equivalent to my living standard, and the work environment is very good, I will love to spend my entire life, not entire life, at least 4 to 5 years in a company, so that I can learn more things, I can give my 100%. And suppose when I'm changing my company to another company, the next company should think this person has stayed there for 5 years, so that company really matters to him. This means a decent job for me, basically. Thank you.
And this is really interesting. Thank you very much for this. Yeah, Marie-Aimee, you want to add something?
Yeah, I completely agree with all what was said. So clearly respect. I think it's a basic, first stone, milestone for a decent job. Fairness, treating all your employees fairly, and ensuring that they have access to basic needs for their physical and mental health. Because I agree with what was said on working environment. It's not just about the money, it's also making sure that people can be themselves in the workplace and develop their talents. Yes, I think a decent job needs to provide stability to the person so they can make projects. And it should be a symbiotic relationship where the employee brings its talents for the company, and the company allows the employee to develop its talents and to grow into the job and hopefully stay in the company. But if it's not possible, also enable them to pursue their career elsewhere if it's possible, because a lot of the issues that companies have right now is to recruit and retain talents. And, salary is not the only thing that young people are looking at when they are choosing a company. They look at the work environment, they look at the values, and at what is done, not just what is said by the company. So all of this is very important, I guess, anywhere in the world.
Thank you. I completely agree with what you said, honestly. And this is especially interesting with regard to the world perspective and the fact that you mentioned that, yes, at the first point there is inclusion, but the second step is retention. So it means that if you manage to recruit employees, but you cannot keep them, and the same thing applies for the youth, because we are really focused on the youth today in this panel, you certainly have a problem with your company, or at least with your way of working. And it's, if you cannot achieve, if I may say, this retention, it will be unfortunately difficult to recruit new youth. So it's really interesting. Thank you for sharing this. And I think some members of the panel wanted to continue the discussion.
I would like to
I would
add
like
something.
to. Sorry. Paul,
Okay. Bruno, you go first. No, you go first.
Okay. No, what I wanted to say is, I think it's what is very important is to give confidence, because when you have youth coming from a background which is very different from yours, if you come from the corporate world, you have certain standards, and you need to make sure that the youth will integrate well. So it takes a little bit of care, not special treatment, same treatment as the others, but a bit of special care, meaning that, okay, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to give you a target for the day. I'm going to give you a target for the week. So you know what you have to do and you know how to do it. And then if you need my support, just ask me. I'll be there to help you. So a bit of, in French, we call it parrainage, or support, I would say. Very important. Because eventually, you all said that, the youth and Marie-Aimee as well, Paul, you want to maintain the same treatment for everybody. You want to ensure that they're going to stay long in the company, because it's good for the employee and for the employer. It's a win-win situation, really. Paul.
Yeah, thank you. The thing is that I would like to add what Maria said, suppose if a company is facing the problem of retention, the major problem is that key companies expecting a person 100% from a person, like from an employee, he is or she is the company employee is expecting. But are the companies delivering the same efforts like the employee is giving? Like they have to upgrade their skills and their trainings also for the employees. Suppose if something innovative thing has came in the market, the company has to take the initiative, have to study, have to take the initiative and give the trainings to the employees so that they can upgrade their skills. If I'm not giving any opportunities to my employees to upgrade themselves, and the another major problem that I face in Indian market, there is only one life, that is the job life, right? They don't have their personal life. Suppose that after timing also they are having so much less time for their families and all. Suppose if I'm working somewhere, I will go and work from 10 to 7, and then I will come back and try to upgrade my skills. Like I to try to invest my time learning from other scholars, or I will go and join some of the courses so that I can study and upgrade my skill, because upgrading on this particular time is very important. Because due to COVID, many jobs has getting shattered because companies are facing also losses. So companies are looking for person who can at least do dual work. Like suppose if he's hiring an accountant, they're expecting that they can do the work of the admin also. The reason is that due to some of the policies of the Indian government, you can't have more than 40% or 50% attendance in the office. Like, and in India till date, work from home concept is basically not working properly. Because I'm from the HR field, we can work from home, but the lack of internet issues, the lack of knowledge of the internet, these are the problems that you have to keep teaching to our employees. I'm not so good in Zoom meetings. I'm very good in Google Meet meeting. So I'm learning Zoom things so that I can guide my employees so they can learn Zoom thing, because Zoom is going viral right now. Like many of the companies are acquiring Zoom for the meetings and all, but we are lacking there. So we have to learn. First, I have to learn. Then I have to deliver those things to my employees so that they can learn. And suppose if I say you have to go and learn by yourself, why should I take the initiative? That will not work. And that is why the retention problem is there. Salary is actually not the matter. The work environment and the possibility of growing yourself as an individual in a company is very important right now. This is the main point that I think that retention will work if we focus on these things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think it will be useful for the youth listening. You know what you have to do, be proficient in Zoom, and you will be able to find to help users develop their skills. No, joke aside, really, thank you very much. And yes, we understand that in order to have a decent job or reduce unemployment, it's necessary for the youth to develop new skills that I may say previous employee or older employees may not possess. And it's really it's something that we have seen multiple times in other sessions, is that digital skills are really needed in order to find a job these days and accede to the employment without any problem, or at least less problems than without being able to use a computer. However, as we also notice when speaking with several youth, it's sometimes difficult for them to accede to computer, even to a mobile phone. So sometimes we have also this gap between I want to do it and I don't have the financial mean or just capacity to do it. And this is where, Marie-Aimee, when you mentioned the support done by companies, by foundations and everything, this is here that NGOs and companies can act, either providing the skills or providing the means. So this is really interesting. Thank you for this. Alexia, I want to add something?
Absolutely, because there is something Debajyoti mentioned that I really enjoyed, like specifically this sentence, when you said actually the companies need to upgrade, need to help the employee to upgrade themselves. And this is actually exactly the role in the company in youth inclusion. This is about helping the youth, and especially just like, for instance, LP4Y is helping the youth to upgrade themselves in the skills perspective and basic skills. But then this is also the role of the company to help the youth to upgrade themselves continuously, to keep to keep having the work, to keep evolving in the work, and to integrate more and more in the society. And this is actually, this session is all about connection in between SDG8 and youth inclusion, but this is also about connection between the several actors and the importance of connecting the youth to first the organization that can help them, and then also connecting the youth to the company in order to keep progressing and allowing youth inclusion, but then also youth retention.
Thank you very much for this. Indeed, you are completely right, and it was really important to make this point. Again, if some of you have questions, don't hesitate, because it's like a discussion between us. But if the viewers, I will call you, want to ask questions, feel free, because this is an opportunity, as we have persons gathered from different parts of the world. It's really, I think it's a really good opportunity.
Okay, I have a question. What is the difficult things you face in the your work? For example, I cannot work it at night. For me. Yes.
Interesting. So I don't know if some members of the companies would like to answer.
I think you're right. I mean, there are certain conditions that make it difficult. I'll give you one. I'm sure it's the same. It might be the same in India, but in the Philippines, if you work in Metro Manila, we are talking about a city or a combination of cities that goes up to 24 million. Then it's about transport. Transport is complicated. It can take a long time. So that's the thing. If you have, the more skills you have, the more chances you have to find a job closer to your to your home or to your location. So if I had something to say is, transport is really a big issue. And these days, companies are organizing, because of the COVID, of course, to avoid people traveling in public transport. They organize specialized or private transport so that they can reduce the occurrence of being exposed to the virus. Okay, so that's the first thing I would see for regarding your question.
Thank you. And of course, we have the problem because women sometimes don't have the same access as men to the work, and you have ongoing discriminations. And we were part of a panel this morning when we spoke about the importance of religion at work. So, and the fact that it was difficult to work sometimes because of your religion. So it can be also an answer. And yes, of course, you have difficult working conditions and you cannot accept every job even if you want to. And I know it's sometimes difficult because you cannot, you find one job, you want to take it and realize that you cannot do it. So thank you for your questions. I think it led to a lot of reflections. And I think I have one question from the public. I don't know if it will work. Sorry. It will take a bit of time to connect, so we will see. I don't know if you wanted to answer. Yeah. Sorry,
I just an additional comment, which is, the more the more company visit you do, the more opportunity you will find to select a better option for you. So that's why having these activities of company visits, trainings, etc., with different companies will give you different choices, and then after that you will be able to select accordingly.
Yeah, to develop your knowledge. Enabulele, I don't know how to pronounce your name. You asked to join the floor. Was it to ask a question?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I think he was surprised because when you join the floor, you join in 1 minute. When you wait for 10 minutes. So yes, and just to continue about what say Bruno actually, and what we discussed with Bruno last time. Also, this is about the importance of the company to actually the company has also a role in showing what is a decent job and what are the criteria of a decent job. They have a role in during the company visit, just like you said actually, when showing the youth what is the working environment, what are, for instance, the advantage in working in some company, the standards, what they have access to. This is also the way for the youth that are coming from LP4Y, for instance, but also any other organization working for the youth inclusion and supporting the youth, providing vocational training and all, to have the youth participating in company visit, and to have the companies welcoming the youth inside the structure at all. This is also to show them what job they should accept and what job they should not accept based on what they can see and from what they will consider then to be a decent job and working. Let's say what we said earlier, decent working environment also.
Yeah, I would like to add something with Alexia said. Actually, the problem of today's youth that they basically need a job. Okay, so that's the main problem. So uh, I think that before I apply for any job, I should have a proper job knowledge, like what is the company all about, like what type of job it is all about, like what are the skill sets that I need to have for this job. Suppose if I go for the interview, if I'm having a very good communication skill, I can get selected for the HR job, right? But problem is that I don't know anything about HR thing. Only have the basic HR knowledge. But for that particular job, the knowledge of PF and ESI knowledge should be there. The retention thing should be there. But those knowledge I don't have. Suppose if I join that job also, I will get terminated within a month or two, or I will quit by myself. Because that is the lack of knowledge that I have for the job, basically. And suppose if I go for an interview, before going for the interview, if I study about the company, about their background, like what type of company it is all about, it is a manufacturing company or a trading company. And suppose if it is a manufacturing company, they are looking for a factory supervisor. Okay, so being a girl or being a boy, any gender can be, am I capable of doing that job? That Celia said that she can't work at night. Suppose for factory supervisor there is a rotational shift, right? So I am comfortable going for that job. I should have that basic knowledge of the job things, and it is our responsibility to guide the youth about those job responsibilities, like the job roles, proper job roles, how they can study. Like suppose if I don't have any knowledge about particular job, I can go on Google and I can search that job. What is this all about? What are the responsibilities that involve? Suppose if a company is showing that 10 responsibilities, the company can at least having 5 to 6 responsibilities follow up with their job. But at least I have a glance of that job before applying for that. And suppose if I applied, I joined, I quit, I'm actually wasting a position for a person who is really desirable for that position. That's the main thing. So we should have the knowledge of the job before applying, knowledge about the company before applying. And once we have started doing this thing now, there will be no problem for getting a job also. Suppose if I'm good in speaking, I should go for the sales thing. People think, why should we go for sales? We have to go outdoors, we have to speak with people. If I'm good with that, how can I be a good accountant? Accountant only need to do the accounting thing. They have to do the things like making the balance sheets and all. And suppose if I'm good in speaking, I will try to convince like what I'm thinking about, what are my thoughts about. Those are the things. You have to see what skill sets you are having and then have to explore yourself before applying for a job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I see the session is coming soon to an end. So I don't know if you want to say in 30 seconds to wrap up all your thoughts. So Debajyoti, knowledge, like you have to know in order to facilitate your inclusion and reduce unemployment, reduce unemployment and find a decent job. First of all, you have to have the knowledge of the job. So I think this is the main point you wanted to emphasize. Bruno, Marie-Aimee, and the girls, do you want to wrap up what you said in a few seconds about youth inclusion, decent job? Choose the one you want to speak about. Alexia, feel free to do so. Yeah, Bruno.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Yeah, I mean, the companies should get involved. That's my do a CSR, a corporate social responsibility activity that makes sense and that gives opportunities to youth, and then change their lives. So to me, that's our commitment. Okay, and on the youth side is explore. Okay, explore, be curious, look for different companies, explore these companies, ask questions, be curious, challenge their statements, understand them, and then after that you decide and go for it big time.
Maybe I can come in. So I think I'd go back to this symbiotic relationship between the company and the youth, where it's really a win-win. So the company, so the employees of the company, they give their experience, they train and share their knowledge, but in return they receive the youth creativity and agility and boldness. That can definitely, that is really needed, especially in large companies, to accelerate process, to reconsider how things are done. So it's not just in one way. Often, people have these preconceived ideas that the older, more experienced are giving and the other ones are receiving, but it's really a two-way, and that should be more acknowledged. To also give more confidence to the youth as to how much value they are creating when they're joining a company.
Thank you very much. I don't know if Alexia or LP4Y, you want to conclude?
I will let LP4Y conclude if you want first. If you can activate the micro. It's okay? It's okay on your side? Okay. We already hear about you, and we know that you are doing your best to get like the decent job you deserve, actually, with all your energy, all your effort also, because we know, and with working with LP4A, actually, we know that you have a lot of energy, a lot of resources, and you can go for your goals if you learn enough and if you have the opportunity by the company. And this is exactly what I want to mention in this conclusion about what I could say before, but also what I could hear also is that to achieve youth inclusion, we need to achieve SDG8 with employment and decent employment for all. But for that, actually, youth need or they need to go to school actually to learn, but when they can't, because they are excluded actually when they can't go to school, they also need organization to support them and to develop the skills they need, so to start linking them with other actors of the job market, but also to learn basic skills. And then after that, they also need to be connected and to be linked with companies first, because obviously they are the job providers also, but also because companies are essential to teach the youth, to mentor them, to support them, and they are essential also to give them the chance actually to be part of the society by giving them a job, but also by giving them, for instance, a status, new opportunities to grow, opportunity to develop themselves, opportunity to build projects. And as it had been mentioned, it's not only recruiting, this is also showing them what is a job, what is your job, making job testimonies, helping them to get the job, reviewing CVs or things like that. There is so many things that every professional can do and to commit to help the youth, and they will see at the very end, recruiting or not recruiting, that there are always mutual benefits, or because you will learn from the youth, or because the youth will learn from you also, and you have like some kind of I'm missing the word in English right now, but you will have like this feeling that you achieve something, and you will make sense with what you're doing, with your job, with your skills and everything. But at the same time, you will receive so much that you will see really the benefits, like with fresh eyes, fresh ideas, new project, new perspective, and maybe new human resources specificities for your company as well. So this is a lot of things at the same time.
Thank you very, very much. I think we can keep this for a conclusion because it was a perfect wrap-up of what was previously said. So thank you very much all for attending, for your testimony. I hope it was beneficial for the one who took part in the discussion or just remotely watched. And yeah, we are really grateful for this. And I hope you will be able to enjoy also the summit. And for the girls, find a decent job. And for the company, continue like this. And I hope it will be worth it in the future. So really, thank you very much. And good luck for everything.
Thank you all, and talk to you very soon also.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thanks.
for
Bye.
this session. Bye.
Thank you.